All right. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother, Chief Priest Al-Azhar Ben Lawyer, a.k.a. the Gorilla Hebrew.
It's the brother Hassad.
Let me, what's wrong?
Should we on mute?
No. I'm turning the mic up so everybody can make sure they can hear us. Damn, this focus is crazy tonight. But yeah, man. So in the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, this is going to be our first week of what we call Yasar classes. Okay, so what the Hebrew word Yasar means is basically to reform. So what we want to do is reform the nation through these teachings, and kind of give new and fresh perspectives on things that may have been overlooked or doctrines that may have become outdated. We want to go back into them through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, bring new life to them, because we know that these words are spirit and truth and life. So we're gonna go into a topic, the topic of lust tonight. But first I wanna send the volume up, matter of fact, first. So let's send the volume up first, then we can get started. So what we're gonna do is rise and face the east, so we can say the Imalian prayer. If y'all been around lately, we've been saying the Imalian prayer pretty much every week, and it's pursuant to a scripture in Luke where Yahweh Shai basically says the harvest is plenteous and the laborers are few. So pray to the Lord of harvest that He sends laborers into the harvest. Right. So what we're going to do is pray, which it's our Imalian for laborers. So we want to pray the Most High sends laborers into the harvest, meaning brothers into this work. Sisters into this truth, man. All right. So let's rise and face the east, officer.
Okay.
All right. So y'all can repeat after us if you like. Abanawi Yahweh.
Abanawi Yahweh.
Adawan Kwatazayor.
Adawan Kotazayor.
Bahashem Mashiach Yahusha.
Bahashim Mashiach Yahusha.
Babkusha, Babkusha, Babkusha.
Babkusha, Babkusha, Babkusha.
Nabai Imalian.
Nabai Imalian.
Nabai Rab Imalian.
Nabai Rab Imalian.
Kwatazayor.
Kotazayor.
Dakar.
Dakar.
Yam.
Yam.
Yeshai.
Yeshai.
Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Babkusha, Babkusha, Babkusha.
Babkusha, Babkusha, Babkusha.
Abanawi Yahweh.
Abanawi Yahweh.
Bahashem Mashiach Yahusha.
Bahashim Mashiach Yahusha.
The water Aman.
The water Aman.
So, just so y'all can understand it, for those of y'all that don't know and aren't familiar with, the Lashon Kodash, essentially what we said is our Father Yahweh, Lord of harvest, in the name of your anointed Yahweh Shai. Please send laborers, send many laborers for the harvest. Hasten the day of salvation for Israel. Please, our Father Yahweh, in the name of the anointed Yahweh Shai. Thank you, amen. So that's what we said in the Hebrew, for those of y'all that are not familiar with the Hebrew. And now we're going to get into this lust thing. Hold on. We'll get into this lust thing because it's a lot of misconceptions about lust and what lust is. And part of the way that we got to be reformed is we got to be reformed from the residue of Christianity that is on a lot of us. So you hear people throw around terms like Jezebel, lust, and they talk about it in such a Christian way. And you're a Hebrew Israelite now, but you're talking about this stuff like such a Christian. And quite frankly, it's borderline disgusting. So I want to let me go to this post I made, and I made this post actually January 4th, 2008, so a year ago. But Facebook got this memories thing, so to bring up memories, and people began to share it again, and people also began to object to it and not understand it because they have been indoctrinated with Christian presuppositions, right? Why is this thing? You gotta stop moving so much, because this thing is really having a focus problem. What's going on with this focus, man? There we go. All So let's just take a look. It says, quick message to you Christolites out there. Lust isn't a sin. Sin is transgression of the law. Show me the law forbidding lust. If lust is a sin, it's a sin to crave food and be sexually attracted to your significant other. Right? I also said number 2, calling someone a Pharisee is not an insult because it denotes nothing negative. The Messiah told people to follow the Pharisees' instructions. There are some that were hypocrites. Some esteemed tradition over law, but there were multiple righteous Pharisees. So that's out. I said part 3, every wicked woman isn't a Jezebel. Jezebel was a Hamite that killed prophets and brought in antinomianism into Israel. If a girl didn't do either of these things, she ain't a Jezebel. Okay, and for those of y'all that don't understand what antinomianism is, it means basically saying that you don't have to keep the law, right? I say all this to say stop using the terms like mindless Christians. It makes you sound and look dumb. Hallelujah, wa shalom. So that was the post. So again, a lot of people didn't understand what I meant by lust isn't a sin. Again, because they have this Christian idea of what lust is. And we have to understand partially in a lot of factions of Christianity and chiefly in Roman Catholicism, they have demonized sex and being sexually attracted to women. They demonized them. Number one, the whole doctrine of original sin, right? That the original sin was Adam and Eve had sex, and that was the apple. That satanic doctrine. Before they ate an apple, they were told to be fruitful and multiply. So how in the hell is having sex a sin? That's ridiculous. But that whole doctrine and the school of thought that it births is one of those things that demonizes lust. I mean, lust is not necessarily a bad thing. You can have bad lust. You can have good lust. In no way is us saying this a license and telling people to go and lust after being, just driven in lust after every woman you see or anything like that. No, certainly not. But we're going to cover all that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai tonight, if it be as well. So the first place we're going to start is I want to look up. Matter of fact, I'll look it up here. We can pull it up. Hold on, y'all. Screen share is giving us some problems. Hold on one second. All right, looks like we're not going to be able to share the screen, so it is what it is. I'm not going to keep messing with it. We're just going to get to the point. Okay, so we have the etymology of lust, both in the noun and the verb. And lust, etymologically, the truth of it means desire, appetite, inclination, pleasure, sensuous appetite, to wish, to desire, eagerly. So all it means is something you want, something you desire, something you wish for, That's all it means. It doesn't mean that you want to have sex with somebody. Now, you can desire to have sex with somebody, and that would be a form of a lust. But lust, sexual things do not have a monopoly on lust and what it is. It's another focus button. This is wild tonight. All right. So they don't have a monopoly on that. So to think that is a truly Christian and non-Hebraic way to think. So let's go to Psalms 37. 132 rather, and 13. Let's go there.
132 and 13?
13 to 14.
It's a psalm to the 132 verse 13. It says, "For Yahweh hath chosen Zion."
Yahweh hath chosen Zion. Read.
He hath desired.
He had what?
Desired.
He hath desired Zion. God desired Zion. What does lust mean? To desire. So God lusts for Zion. Read.
He hath desired it for his habitation.
He have desired it for his habitation. Read on.
This is my rest forever.
Uh-huh.
Here will I dwell, for I have desired it.
That's right. He desired it, right? So let me pull this back up. The lust etymology. So again, lust means desire. God desires us, right? We look the word up that appears for desire in those verses. Strong's H183, awa, which means desire, incline, wait longingly, wish, want. Again, what does it say? Desire, appetite, inclination, pleasure, to wish, to desire eagerly. This is what lust means. So does God lust for Israel? Does God lust? Yes, he does. So if he does it, how can it be wrong? What? Go ahead.
We just called us his fervent lover.
Yeah, well, that's true, right? So let's go to now Isaiah 26:8. All right, because there's a couple different words that appear Hebraically that express lust, desire, want, being eager for, etc. 83:28. Go ahead.
It's Isaiah 26:8.
Uh-huh.
Yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Yahweh, have we waited for you. The desire of our soul is to thy name.
So we desire the name, we lust for the name of the Most High. That's not a wrong thing. That's a lust. Let's go to that word that appears there, which is Strong's H83:28, and it means no, that's not it. It's not 83:28. It's 83:78. My fault. H83:78. Right, yeah. Tawa, and it means to desire, wish, longing of one's heart, lust, things desired, object of desire. So it says we lust for the name of the Most High. That's not a wrong thing to lust. You can lust. There are things that it's okay to lust for, and there are things that it's not okay to lust for. This is all we're saying. So lust alone, and we're going to get to one of the main driving points behind this lesson is a lot of women you got going around Facebook and other forms of social media going, oh, them guys, they're just lusting. Only reason he wants another woman or another wife is he's lusting, or, all of this madness. We're going to get to that at the end. And y'all going to get your bubble bust. Disclaimer. Y'all might want to turn off now if it's too hard for you.
Right.
If you're getting your bubble burst is an issue for you. Give me wisdom. You got the apocrypha in there? Yeah. Right there. Wisdom 6:11 now. So we've established that God lusts for us. We established that we lust for God. So these are not things the Most High Yahweh, so we can understand. So these are not things that are negative. These are positive things that it is perfectly okay to lust for because God does it and we do it in righteousness, right? So read.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore set your affection.
Set your what?
Affection.
Your affections, read.
Upon my words.
Upon what?
My words.
We're supposed to set our affections, our lusts, our desires on the words of the Most High. So again, lust does not denote something negative or bad or sinful. We lust toward the word of the Most High. We're lusting toward the name of the Most High. He's lusting for us. He wants us as his chosen people. See, it's not always a bad thing. Go ahead.
Wherefore set your affection upon my words.
Set your affection upon the words of the Most High. Read.
Desire them.
Oh, said what?
Desire
them. Lust for them, because that's all lust means is desire. You hear that word lust, red flags go off in your head, but all the word actually means is desire. Desire the word of the Most High. Read.
It says, desire them, and ye shall be instructed.
And you shall be, if you lust for the word of God, you'll be instructed by the word, by the Holy Spirit. But you can't. This crazy, man. Come on, man. This focus is wilding tonight. All right. But you can't get instructed if you're not having that desire or lust for the word, period. Sirach 1:26.
It's the book of Sirach. You said 1:26?
Uh-huh.
This is Sirach, chapter 1, verse 26. If thou desire wisdom,
if you lust for wisdom, read.
Keep the commandments.
See that? If you lust for wisdom, keep the commandments. And you will obtain what you're lusting or desiring. See that? By keeping the commandments. So all these forms of lust or desire are not negative, man. They're just not. Ezekiel 9:4.
This is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
It says, and Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark.
Set a mark, now read.
Upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So the men that sigh and that cry, these are the righteous prophets that are sighing and crying about the wickedness that's going on in the city. It says a mark will be set on their foreheads. Now, when you look that word mark up in the Hebrew, it's the word ta, which is Strong's H8420, and it literally means desire, right? So the men who desired for righteousness, that's why they somebody who was that? So I could King Kahan Israel, Yahweh Shemiah Shabrakatah, brother. The water for that. You said what? Oh, Yahweh Shemiah Shabrakatah and Issachar. Shalom, brother. So we have to understand is that desire that these men had for righteousness, for the truth, for the word of the Most High, for the name of the Most High, actually rendered them exempt from the judgment that the Most High was getting ready to bring to the city. You see that? But the desire or the lust there was for righteousness. So because it was a righteous lust or a righteous desire, they were rewarded by them being exempt. That mark was set upon them that made them exempt from the judgment that the angels were coming to do. See what I'm saying? Let's go now to Proverbs 5 and 19.
This is Proverbs chapter 5, verse 19. It says, let her be as the loving hind.
Let her be as the loving hind, read on.
And pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times.
See, the Bible say, let your wife's breast satisfy you at all times. Is that lust? But it's the Bible saying, let it. You better be into that woman. She better be somebody that you're into in a fleshly way. These are acceptable and good forms of lust. This is okay. All right. Now, there are some unacceptable forms of lust as well. And I want to now tackle that because it's a balance, man. That's all we're saying. Lust in and of itself is not negative. A lot of y'all are using it in a very incorrect and Christian way. And quite frankly, it's disgusting. So now we're going to get another, we'll go back into the lexicon. When was the Greek now, right? Strong G 3806, right? And this word means whatever befalls one, whatever is said to be joyous, a feeling which the mind suffers, a passionate deed, an emotion, passion, etc. So this has a negative connotation on it, this particular word, because it deals with an evil affliction, something that befalls you, mean happen to you, a calamity, something that your mind suffers. So this is like an evil form of lust now, right? And this is the word. It appears in 3 particular verses here in the New Testament, and we're going to go into all 3 of those now. So Romans 1 and 26, we're going to go to first. And these are negative forms of lust, because like I said, there are positive and okay, righteous forms of lust, and then there are negative things to lust for as well. So let's read that. And you have to understand, you have good things to lust for, you have bad things to lust for, and you have things that are like neutral to lust for. And too much of any of these neutral things could turn into a bad thing. For example, you could want you want to go get a milkshake, but then you could turn into a glutton also if you lust for the milkshake too much. So that those neutral things can turn negative as well. We want to make sure that's understood, right? But you can never lust for the truth of the Most High too much, right? But you can lust for food too much. You can lust for sexual pleasures too much, and they can turn negative. All right, but go ahead.
This is Romans 1 and 26. For this cause, God gave them up unto vile affections.
So that's the word there for vile, I believe vile affections. Let me make sure. Yes, the vile affections. So there's a vile affection or a negative lust that somebody can have. And in this context, it's referring to homosexuality. That is a vile affection. That is a negative or bad, unlawful lust to have. Read on.
Vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
Yes, being lesbians. All right, that's against nature. That is an unlawful, negative, vile lust. That's a bad lust. Right? Let's go to Colossians 3 and 5. The other one of the other verses this word is used in. 2 or 3. We're gonna hit all 3, like I said, in the spirit.
Is it Colossians 2 and 5?
3 and 5.
Colossians 3 and 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says Colossians 3 and 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth.
That's right.
Fornication,
read on.
Uncleanness, inordinate affection.
It said what?
Inordinate affection.
Inordinate, this is the negative lust. It's called vile affection in one verse. In the next verse, it's called inordinate, meaning out of order. What's the order? The order is set in a law. Anything that contradicts the law would be inordinate from the law. So the inordinate affections, the affections of the lust or desires that you have that are contradictory of the law, get rid of those things. Those are negative. Those are bad. But it's still substantiating the law as the standard, right? So read.
It says inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness.
Which concupiscence is dealing with this unbridled lust as well. When this is just out of control, you have people that become addicts to certain things, nymphomaniacs, porn addicts, and food addicts as well. Because then, we all, like I said, we think about sexual things oftentimes, but that's not the only thing you can become addicted to and give into the lust of your flesh through. There's various things, and you have to keep yourself in balance as far as these things go. So these are the things that we have to mortify ourselves or kill from ourselves. That's what mortify means. Right. Go ahead. You had a point.
Yeah, and just adding on to the brother's point, because you often associate lust with sexual lust, but you could even something that could seem good, like even exercise, for example. You could exercise too much.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You start popping your damn blood vessels and things like that. You can do something too much. It's not just limited to sexual wants, right?
That's a good point.
Keep going though.
No, I just needed 3 and 5.
Okay.
Let's now go to first. It doesn't know 5?
Almost. It says.
Okay, go ahead.
And covetousness, which is idolatry.
See that? So, which covetousness is also dealing with overlusting as well, like concupiscence. Now, let's go to 1 Thessalonians 4 and 5. Right? Go ahead.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 5. It says, not in the lust of concupiscence.
And what lust and concupiscence? See that? So you have vile affections, inordinate affection. Now we have lust of concupiscence, which is that unbridled, uncontrollable, out of control lust. Read on.
Even as the Gentiles,
go ahead,
which know not God.
The people who don't know the Most High in these scriptures, they do live in what they call hedonism. All they do is feed the lust of their flesh. And the reason why they do it is because they don't have the Most High. They don't have these laws, statutes, commandments to be the standard to them. So we don't walk like they walk. We have the laws as standard. We understand how to bridle our lust, how to deny our flesh and things of that nature. But those are the 3 words or the 3 verses that particular Greek word is used in. I now want to go to the gospel. Let's go to Mark 4:19. All right, so get some further insight through the Spirit. Go ahead.
This is Mark 4:19. And the cares of this world.
The cares of this world, read.
And the deceitfulness of riches. And the lust of other things entering in. Lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful.
See, the lust of these things of the world, these are the negative things. The lust of the worldly things, that will choke the word out of somebody. That will take this truth from somebody. The lust of the world. All right, let's keep it moving. Romans 6 and 12. Go ahead.
This is Romans chapter 6, verse 12. It says, let not sin, therefore, reign in your mortal body.
He said, let not sin reign in your mortal body. How does sin reign in your mortal body? The things that your flesh is doing is contrary to the law. Stop sinning. Let not sin. And this is a cut to the Christian church. That Paul is clearly instructing people to keep the law. Let not sin reign in your mortal body. The only way you can let not sin reign in your mortal body is keeping the law. Because sin is, of course, defined by an as transgression of the law. So if you're not transgressing law, what are you doing? You keeping it. Period. Read.
It says that you should obey it in the lust thereof.
That you shall what?
Obey it in the lust thereof.
Sinful lust. As you should obey it in the lust thereof, that sin reign in your body. So the type of lust, lust is not wrong. The type of lust that's wrong is sinful lust. Lust that is against the law of God. Lust that is inordinate. Lust that is vile. That's the type of lust that is negative. Okay. So now let's go to Luke 22 and 15 real quick. Now, I want to show you how this same word is used, right? Because it says sinful lust. There was a descriptor to the type of lust. It was sinful, full of sin, but then lust was used. So we're going to go to another verse here in the New Testament, the gospel, where the same lust word is used, but I don't believe the sinful is used as the descriptor. So read that.
This is Luke 22 and 15.
Read on.
And he said unto them, with desire.
With what?
Desire.
That word desire that Yahweh Shai is saying here, you call Christ is saying right here, it's the same word for lust in Romans 6 and 12. So read it from the top.
It says, and he said unto them, with desire, I have desired to eat this Passover.
You see that Yahweh Shai said he desired to eat the Passover. So he lusted to eat the Passover. That's not negative. I lusted to eat the Passover. But if you have sinful lust, then sin is reigning in your flesh. That's wrong. But it's not sinful. It is the opposite of sinful to want to keep the Passover, the most important feast day of the year. That is the opposite of a sinful lust. That's a righteous lust, a righteous want, a righteous desire. And those things are okay to lust for, not sinful lust, lust full of sin, lust that are inordinate and contrary and vile when it comes to the law. All right, that's all we're trying to tell you. So now let's go to Romans 7 and 7.
This is Romans chapter 7, verse 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin?
Is what?
The law sin?
Read.
God forbid.
God forbid. Read on.
Nay, I had not known sin but by the law.
Read on.
For I had not known lust except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
You see that? He didn't know what lusts were wrong if the law didn't give him the understanding of what lusts were wrong. See that? So the law is there to tell us what sin is right and wrong. So if the Most High tells you not to covet after your neighbor's wife, then you know you are not supposed to lust after a woman that belongs to another man. But you got these women that are going around, oh, that's just lust, right? You'll put a picture, you'll say a sister is pretty, and somebody will come in, that's just lust. Well, is she a single woman? So what is it? It's not a negative lust, right? As long as I'm not ODing, right? You see what I'm saying? Let's go now to Galatians 5 and 16. 16 to 17. This is where Paul's going to really clarify it in the spirit right here in Galatians 5, 16 to 17 in a very powerful manner. Right? So go ahead.
This is Galatians 5 and 16. It says, this I say then, walk in the spirit.
Walk in the spirit, read on.
And ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
Mind you, he's juxtaposing spirit and flesh. It says, walk in the spirit that you not fulfill the lust of the flesh, read on.
For the flesh lusteth against the spirit.
The flesh lusteth against the spirit, read.
And the spirit against the flesh.
That means the spirit lusts. It lusts against the flesh the same way the flesh lusts against the spirit. So the spirit wants lust after righteous things. The flesh is lusting after sinful things. So walk not after what your flesh is telling you to do, but rather let your spirit transcend your flesh and rule your body, rule your temple. Go ahead, King.
That's like the lust of the inward man versus the lust of the carnal man.
There you go. Exactly. Inward man versus carnal man. That's it. Your inward man is wants to look at your neighbor's wife's ass. Your fleshly man is going to stop your head from looking at that. It's going to stop you from cutting your eyes at that woman's behind. See that? Because God told you can't do that. You see? Go ahead.
It says, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh.
The spirit has lust, and the lust it has are not sinful. They're against the sinful lust of your flesh. Read on.
And these are contrary the one to the other.
That's right.
So that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
So the things that you want to do of your spirit, it's difficult because your flesh is trying to take over and guide you towards the fleshly lust. You have to let your spirit transcend your flesh. Now Romans 7 and 14. Back to Romans 7, 14 verse. Kind of all praise.
This is Romans chapter 7, verse 14. It says, for we know that the law is spiritual.
The law is spiritual. So the spirit lusts against the flesh and the law is spiritual because the spirit, how we're being led in the spirit is being led to keep the laws, do things that are in line with the laws, that the law says is acceptable and unacceptable, right? The flesh wants to do the unacceptable things. The spirit wants to do the acceptable things because the law is spiritual. Read on.
But I am carnal.
I am carnal. Read on.
Sold under sin.
Carnal meaning fleshly. I'm fleshly. So what we have to do is transcend that flesh and not follow the lust of it, right? That was it on that?
I'm 14, yeah.
Okay, John, give me John 16:63. Because this is how we have to understand we got to follow the Bible and what the Bible tells us to do. Read on.
This is John chapter 6, verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth.
Read on.
The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
The words of the Most High, they are spirit and they are life. The words Yahweh Shai spoke, which his Father gave him, they are spirit and they are life. So how do we walk after the Spirit? We walk according to the Bible. Because the Holy Spirit is what the Most High sent divinely to inspire the authors of this Bible. So we follow what's in the Bible, the instructions that are in this Bible. And if the Bible says something's wrong, we shouldn't lust for it. See? Where we at? Go to Titus. Give me Titus 2:12.
This is Titus chapter 2, verse 12. It says, teaching us that denying ungodliness,
denying sinfulness, denying ungodly behavior. Read on.
And worldly lust.
And what?
Worldly lust.
Not just lust in general. Worldly lust, a certain type of lust. Again, we're seeing these descriptors: fleshly lust, worldly lust, carnal lust, sinful lust. Those are synonymous. Those are the type of lust that are wrong. Worldly lust, read on.
Worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly.
We should live righteously and godly, read.
In this present world.
What's righteously? Deuteronomy 6:25. Let's find out what righteously is versus worldly, sinful, vile, etc. Read.
This is Deuteronomy 6:25. And he shall be our righteousness.
It should be our righteous. Read.
If we observe to do all these commandments.
You see that? Read.
Before Yahweh our God.
Essentially, walk after the law and the things that are acceptable according to the law, and not after the things that aren't. Lust after things that are acceptable according to the law, and not after things that aren't. Right? That's simple. Because lusting against the law is sinful, is worldly, is carnal. See? Matthew 5:27. Let's get 27 to 28 there. Matthew 5. 5:27. 28. No, that's all right. It's all right. Point is proven. Go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 5.
We can bring it out after. Go ahead.
Verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time. 5:27.
5:27, 28.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
So Yahushua says, you've heard the old time not commit adultery, right? Read.
But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman.
He said, if you look at the woman, read.
To lust after her, hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
So we have to understand, one, that in order for somebody to commit adultery, it's got to be, that woman got to belong to somebody else. So that word woman also in the Greek, when you look at it, also means wife. So if you look at somebody else's wife and you lust after her, you have committed adultery in your heart. Because he's now let's go to Mark, right? Mark 15 to 22. And he elaborates in the other part of the gospel further upon this. Now we're being judged as adulterers for lusting knowingly after somebody else's wife. That's adultery now, right? Not just the act, the thought of it. Because the thought of it is what even will make you do it in the first place, right? So Yahushua is giving us the spirit of the law, not just the letter, right? And he's going to elaborate on that here, Mark 7:15 to 22.
This is Mark chapter 7, verse 15. It says, there is nothing from without a man that entering into him can defile him.
Right, read on.
But the things which come out of him, those are they that defile him.
The things that come out of you, that's what defiles you. Read.
If any man have ears to hear, let him hear.
Read on.
And when he was entered into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable. And he saith unto them, go all the way to 22? All the way to 22. And he said unto them, are ye so without understanding also? Do you not perceive?
He had a very simple message, and it went over, like so many of his messages in the spirit, it went over a lot of people's head. So he's like, man, y'all don't get what I'm saying here? It's what comes out of a man that makes him abominable, that defiles him. Right? Read.
Do you not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entereth into the man, it cannot defile him?
It can't defile you. You know why? Because anything is going to come out of you, and you at most will be unclean until even. And that's it. And then you're good now. Right? But read.
Because it entered not into his heart.
Which is his mind. Read, which is the seat of your desires, which are lusts. Read.
But into the belly. And goeth out into the draught.
Meaning it's going to come out of you in waste. It's a waste product. It's going to come out of you. You're going to be clean again. But if your mind ain't right, your whole body is going to be perpetually defiled until you fix that. Read.
Purging all meats. And he said, that which cometh out of the man,
read on,
that defileth the man.
That's what truly defiles you. Read on.
For from within,
within come what?
Out of the heart of men.
Out of your mind, your lobe, right? It's where you get lobe, frontal lobe from. Read.
Proceeds evil thoughts.
Evil thoughts come out of your mind. You thinking about another man's wife in your mind. You have to think about having sex with her before you do it. So what he's saying is we're going to nip the thought in the bud so it doesn't manifest in your flesh and you actually commit this sin. So now we're going to hold you accountable for what you're thinking about. Read.
Evil thoughts, adulteries.
Adultery. See that? That's why he said, if you look upon that man's wife with lust, you're an adulterer, because that thought is eventually going to manifest in the flesh, and you're going to try to do it. And really, you want to do it. And if you had the opportunity, you would do it. You may not do it because she may not be willing, or you may not have an opportunity to make advances towards her. But if you had your way, you would certainly do it. And that's why you're evil from within. You're corrupt from within. Right? Read on.
It says adulteries, fornications, murders.
Murders. All that starts in the brain. For you to murder somebody, you got to want to kill this nigga. You got to harbor the hate towards him. Then you got to go do it. See? Read.
It says thefts.
You think you consider all these things in your brain before you do them. You think about how you're going to steal something, how you're going to kill somebody, how you're going to have sex with somebody's girl. These are all things that you have to premeditate. What Yahweh Shai is saying is, if you premeditate these things, you're evil as hell. Your body is evil because that mind is there. That mind is wrong. It's corrupt. You're as guilty as somebody who's doing these crimes. Why? Because you thought about doing them. And because you're contemplating and premeditating doing them, you're essentially doing it. Right? Read.
Thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness.
See that? All these things, lasciviousness. Read.
An evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within.
They all come from your mind. So what he's telling you is, if you're truly born again and you reform your mind from thinking these things, then you'll be all right. He's trying to get us out of this thought process that gives us the thoughts that lead us to sin. That's how you really stop sin. Read. Not just telling somebody, if you do this, X, Y, and Z is going to happen. Saying you're as guilty as somebody who does it for even contemplating doing it. So stop thinking like that. Powerful teachings of Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Read.
All these evil things come from within and defile the man.
That's right. That's what truly defiles you and makes you a wicked, evil, corrupt person, is those thoughts that proceed from without of your mind, man. Right? So now, Deke, that's you. Hold on. That's you. All right. You had something you want to say? That was it on 22?
Are you done with? I don't want to pull no scriptures.
Not quite.
Okay. I was going to go into some more righteous parts of it, but
beautiful.
James 1:15.
Yeah. I'm as soon as I'm done, I'll let you know.
All right.
Perfect. Go ahead.
James chapter 1 verse 15. Then when lust hath conceived.
See, when lust hath conceived, read.
It bringeth forth sin.
See that when you think about it, it's going to conceive in your flesh and actually bring forth sin. So let's nip the thought in the bud. Let's now start judging you for the thought, right? And then maybe you stop thinking like that. Maybe you get a reformation to your thought process. And then you're truly born again. Then the law is truly dwelling within you. Read.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
Because the wages of sin are death. See? Focus. Okay, go ahead.
That
was 15. Okay. Let's hit Colossians 3 and 5 again. One more time.
This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. It says, mortify therefore your members, which are upon the earth. Fornication.
So it says, mortify your members. What we have to do is kill our flesh. Right? Fornication, unlawful sex, read.
It says, uncleanness, inordinate affection,
read on.
Evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry.
So coveting, fornicating, thinking about these things, lusting after things that you're not supposed to, stop doing all that, kill your flesh, right? Now, let's go to Genesis 29:16. This is for the sisters out there that go, that man just want another wife because of lust. Okay. I'm going to deal with y'all now. Now that we've kind of knocked out the meat of this lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh by some y'all shot, let me burst y'all bubble. I see y'all still here. It's more y'all here than before. So look, and husbands, take this back to your wife if you got to, when she tells you you're just lusting and that's why you want another wife. Number one, whether that's true or not is irrelevant, because that's not a bad thing, as we've already proven. As long as you don't belong to somebody else, it's not negative to want another woman. That's not bad. Okay. Genesis 29:16.
This is Genesis chapter 29, verse 16. And Laban had two daughters.
We were 16, read to 18. Read.
The name of the elder was Leah. And the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed.
She was what?
Tender-eyed.
Tender-eyed, read.
But Rachel
was what?
Was beautiful and well favored.
She was beautiful and well favored. Now, the translation says beautiful and well favored, but I want to show y'all something. In the Hebrew there, it says shapely. Strong's H8389. Shape. Okay, figure. That's what that word means. She was shapely. So, quite frankly, Rachel had a banging body, right? Keep reading.
Verse 18. And Jacob loved Rachel.
And what?
Jacob loved Rachel.
What do you think motivated Jacob to love Rachel? That she was shapely. That's why he liked it, Rachel, better than Leah. She was shapely. She had a figure. So your forefather, he lusted. You know the man Jacob, Israel, who we call ourselves Israelites, the man that wrestled with an angel in order to obtain a name, that he obtained power from God, that we call ourselves so proudly, Ban Yasharallah, Israel, Ben Israel, Israel, Ben Israel, all these various things. He lusted. He had 2 wives. One, he liked it better, and he liked it better because, quite frankly, she had a better body. This is in the Bible. So it's not some wrong, forbidden thing to do. People have preferences. People like men like women.
Yeah.
Women like men. As long as it's not inordinate, as long as it doesn't contradict the law, it's not wrong. That's what I'm saying. Read.
It says, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
That's right. He loved her so much. I give you 7 years for that. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
This is a precept that's going right with that. Sirach 36 and 22. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance.
So, yeah, I like her. Yeah, I want her. She fine as hell. She's single, and it's cheering my countenance. Let me tell you something. There's certain women, I'm going to tell you this now. I don't care who gets mad. I might get on Instagram. I'm not just talking about any old average broad or, you know, some girl with a twerking thong. But there's certain women that have a certain beauty that literally I can be upset. And if I see them, I will be happy. Look at him. He's smiling. He can think of a few. That it'll brighten my day up. I will get out of a negative spirit because their beauty cheer up the countenance. Now, is that evil that I love Black and Hispanic women who God chose, who made us the most beautiful and powerful and gifted and special people on the earth? Is that wrong of me? Of course not. Stop it. Stop being jealous. Right? So now,
it says, and a man loveth nothing better.
That's the best thing in the world to us. Right? Is that everything? No. But it's a great thing. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that, desiring that. Nothing at all wrong with that. Right? Biblically, we're proving it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Now, Proverbs 31 and 30. Right? Because we're given the balance of this whole thing in the spirit.
Thank you, Ayathan. Oh, man. You don't even want to know.
I don't want to know what's going on in that chat.
You don't want to know.
Y'all gonna have to cut me.
Well, I'll just tell you.
Y'all saying plenty. Y'all gonna have to cut me. Go ahead.
When the multiple wives things come up, just think about the number one thing sisters say in response to that. That's what they're trying to say.
What, lust?
No, y'all can have multiple wives.
We get multiple husbands? Yeah. Y'all hate God? I want to know if y'all hate God, because I'll go to the Bible. I know y'all are not in this chat claiming to be godly, Bible-believing, God-believing women and saying this dumbass madness, man. See, the white man has run such a train on your minds. I'm going to just be honest. You know what? I see I'm going to have to go on Isaiah 4 in the filthy one. I'm going to have to go. Let me tell y'all something. We got the where the good news at? My son was playing with it earlier.
I have it. It's in my room.
I'm going to do now. Now y'all done got me started tonight. Sisters, good sisters. I'm going to get in my bag, and I love you guys so dearly. And I just want you guys to let the white man let go of your mind. Tell the devil to flee from you. Get Satan away from you. Because just like I said about this damn Drake thing, people are calling Drake a pedophile because he kissed a 17-year-old girl when he was in his early 20s. Let me explain. In a state that it was legal for a 17-year-old girl to consent to, as far as sex, and all he did was kiss her. And compare him to a monster named R. Kelly. Let me explain something to y'all, man. Y'all got to stop acting like white people. The white man standardized these things to you, and you treat them as gospel. You want to pick and choose the things about the Bible that you like. The white man is the devil. We're the Israelites. We're the greatest people. But you still want to follow, in the words of the great Reverend X, Whitey's rules. And that's a problem. And now I got to bust y'all. Where we at? Proverbs 31 and 30. Let me finish this, then I'm going to bust y'all. Read that.
31 and 30.
Can we have multiple husbands? Guys, you guys know, what the book says, right? You know all the great men in the book had multiple wives, right? Or many of the great men in the book. And do you know all the women that try to have multiple husbands did in the book? Oh, they died. They got stoned. They got burned. You know that? You know if you're a Haitian woman and you have multiple husbands, God says you got to be burned to death? Did you know that? If you're another tribe woman, you get stoned to death. Did you know that? I just want to know if you know that. We're going to go through it because apparently you guys are crazy and you don't, you omit, like you forget what the Bible says. It's okay. I love y'all. And I want y'all to get right. And I want y'all to repent. And I want y'all to let Satan let go of your mind, man. So let's do it. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 31 and 30. It says, favor is deceitful.
Favor. But see, look, a girl is beautiful. A beautiful woman cheereth the countenance, and a man liketh nothing better. But favor is deceitful. Just because she looks good does not mean she's good. Does not mean she's good for you. It's plenty. I tell you all, there's plenty of beautiful women I've seen in my life. It doesn't mean that these women are right. These women are suitable mates for you. Or these women are there's anything good about them outside of the way they look. A lot of these women are destroyed and evil as hell on the inside, though they look good on the outside. They're like that sepulcher.
Yeah, clean sepulcher.
That clean sepulcher that's got a dead body in it. You see what I'm saying? So with all that being said, yes, you can want a woman because of the way she looks, but understand that the way she looks can be deceitful. Read.
It says, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain.
That's right.
But a woman that feareth the Lord.
See, beauty is vain, right? So it's something there, but it doesn't indicate substance. There's nothing substantial about it other than the way it looks. But a woman that fears God, read.
She shall be praised.
That's a woman that should be praised. But you women that's in the chat right now are watching this on the playback. That's talking this, can I have multiple husbands? Or we can't. You're not fearing God. I want you to let y'all know that because he said it in his book. So you're not fearing him. So you're not getting praised either because you're not fearing him in full. You want to pick and choose what suits your emotions to fear the Most High God. Therein lies a problem. Where we at? Boom, boom, boom. Sirach 25 and 21.
Hey, the chat moderators, people can give their as long as they're not teaching, people can give their stance. You don't have to remove their comments. As long as they're not teaching, that's fine, or being disrespectful.
Yeah, we got some trigger happy niggas out there just splacking, apparently.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah, I know how these Sicarii brothers are. Straight shooters, right? But go ahead, read that 25-21 Sirach.
This is Sirach 25 and 21. Good News Translation. It says, "Never lose your head over a woman's beauty."
No, you can read it here. Read it here.
That was cold too, though.
Yeah, they talking about a Jezebel spirit in the chat.
Yeah.
Now I say I'm gonna have to go into this Jezebel thing.
All right.
Go ahead.
This is Sirach 25 and 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman.
It says stumble not. So yes, you see a woman, you're attracted to her, you may want her. A lot of time, like we gotta understand, like that attraction thing is like what you call the prerequisite. You see her, she's attractive to you. You may desire her predicated upon her looks. But then you now approach her now, right? Because you're attracted to her. Then amongst talking to her, you see this beauty is vain, right? So don't stumble at her beauty because she could be a piece of garbage or totally lost and, just not workable or fixable, etc. So don't stumble at the beauty. You see it, you may want it, you may be attracted to it, but don't stumble at her beauty. Read. That's as they say in rap, don't trust a big butt and a smile. Right? Read.
Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure.
Desire her not for pleasure. See? So what it's telling us is you may see her, you may want her, or lust after her, desire because of her looks, but you have to bridle yourself because ultimately what you should be desiring for out of a wife or her is not just for your pleasure. All right. So yes, you're looking at her, you like her because of the way she looks, etc. But you need to engage her, you need to get to know her, and you need to vet her mind to see if she's right for you mentally and spiritually. You've already made the decision physically. That's just okay, boom. Physically, I like her. Let's go in now. Let's make inquisition. Let's search out the mind of this woman. All right. Because what does it say? Read that part again.
It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure.
We're not desiring her just for what she physically has to offer. What we're desiring for, because that's just, again, that's just the entry level stuff. We're desiring for more than that. What does she spiritually and mentally have to offer? How can you build her up? How can she build you up? How can y'all build together? How can she, if she's an additional wife, add to the situation that you already have in the team? You see what I'm saying? What is she bringing in? How is she a good piece to this puzzle? Not just do she look good. Again, that's just the entry level stuff here, right? 26. Now go to Sirach 26 and 6.
This is Sirach chapter 26, verse 6. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman.
See, and now a lot of you want to go, oh, he's just lusting. Read that again.
But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman.
You talking about it's just lust? No, it's just jealousy from you.
Right.
And you're a grief of heart and sorrow, according to the Bible. So shut up.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And a scourge of the tongue which communicateth withal.
Get Sirach 37 and 11. Give verse 11 first.
This is Sirach 37 and 11. It says, I was about to get this too as well. It says, neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous.
So when I hear you say it's just lust, you've now disqualified yourself from even being able to talk about whether or not this woman is going to be brought in. You know why? The Bible says, consult not with a woman with whom she is jealous. If you're jealous of this girl, you're not going to be able to give me a proper opinion about this girl and analyze whether or not she's a good piece to this puzzle. You know why? Because you're jealous of her. And it's a lot of women jealous of each other in Israel. And they won't even admit it. And it's truthfully sick and disgusting. And y'all need to love yourselves and you need to love your sisters in a much better way.
That's right.
And I hope we can teach you that, right? Read.
It says, neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward.
Now watch this. Skip to 7, because that's the point. Skip to 7, read 7 to 8.
7, you mean?
In verse 7, and to verse 8.
Okay, verse 7. Every counselor extolleth counsel.
Every counselor extolleth counsel, read.
But there is some that counseleth for himself.
See that? So I can't go to you about a girl who you are jealous of because you're going to give me an advice that suits you. You're going to act like you're giving me this great advice, but the advice you're giving me is through your agenda. You have an agenda, and that is shaping the advice you're giving me. It's not non-biased. It's not objective, right? Read.
It says, but there's one that counseleth for himself. Beware of a counselor and know before what need he hath. Exactly.
You're just saying I'm lusting, and the reason you're saying I'm lusting is because you're jealous. So if I come to you and ask you, should I deal with this girl or anything about this girl, you're going to assault her, you're going to talk down on her, you're going to do all these things. Why? Because you have an agenda. The Bible told me all of these things. So we give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for telling us all these things to help us maneuver properly in this time. Stop being so jealous. Stop blaming everything on lust. Stop talking about lust as if it's bad. A lot of y'all are bugging, quite frankly. But y'all talk about this Jezebel. Matter of fact, Salaki, Deke, whatever you had on the lust, go ahead and bring it out.
Let me bring this out.
Whatever Assad got, bring that out, and then we're going to get on this Jezebel thing.
Let me bring this out so I can get to my lamb and my wine, right? So, I heard you guys did a beautiful, beautiful job. Just get a most high, a powerful hand, man. Get a most high, powerful hand by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. And Jake just doesn't get it. They don't get it. They hear, like you said, their mind has been gang raped by the white man, and so they're just mentally in derision. All right. So I see you went to the words that were the same words in the Greek and the Hebrew. So when it says don't lust here, and the same word in the Hebrew or the Greek, it puts the same word for lust in a positive light. But Jake doesn't give a damn about the Hebrew or the Greek. They put the English translation over the Hebrew and the Greek. So I just wanted to bring out a few scriptures, and then I'm gonna go back on Mute here. Okay. Screen shared. Screen shared. Let me know if you see it, Akia. Screen sharing. Okay, screen sharing. Cool. All right. So this is Deuteronomy 12 and 15. It says, notwithstanding, thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Lord thy power, Yahweh thy power, which he hath given thee, the unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and as of the art. Skipping to verse 20. When the Lord thy God shall enlarge thy border, as he have promised thee, and thou shalt say, I will eat flesh, because thy soul longest to eat flesh, thou mayest eat flesh whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. So we see dealing with the law in Torah, we see how it's painted and how it's used and instructed by Moses, even dealing with our beloved brother, the Apostle Paul, because all lust means is to covet. And it says, 1 Corinthians 12 and 31, but covet earnestly the best gifts. 14:39, 1 Corinthians 14:39. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy. So he's literally saying covet or lust to prophesy, covet or lust for the best gifts. So that's all the brother's saying when he made this Facebook post, that all lust isn't sin. You got the godly lust and then you got the evil lust. So it's a clear separation, it's a clear distinction. So I just wanted to bring these couple of precepts out, but you got it.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Whatever you got to say, go ahead, bring it up.
Okay, fine. This is Psalm chapter 40, verse 8. It says, I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. Now, I just want to show you what the Hebrew word is for delight, or slakia. The Hebrew word for will, thy will, is Strong's H7522. It's pleasure. It's literally, it says the first thing, pleasure, desire, delight. So what does that mean? That we delight to do the Most High's pleasure. So what does that mean? The Most High, again, has lust. Is he wicked? What kind of sense does that make? You're going to call the Most High wicked for lusting? Let me show you all this. There's another scripture I wanted. I think Wisdom 6 and 20, I think is what it was. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 20. Watch this. It says, therefore, the desire of wisdom, so lusting for wisdom, bringeth to a kingdom. So, wait a minute. Lust is wickedness, this evil thing. But lusting after wisdom is going to bring about a kingdom. Isn't that what we're striving for, to get to the kingdom? So we should lust for wisdom or want wisdom. I mean, that's pretty much it on that. That we pretty much eviscerated the whole ideology that all lust is wicked, when we clearly illustrated that the lust that is not okay in the scriptures is, like the scriptures say, that inordinance or worldly lust, things that are against the Most High. But if you are lusting for things that are righteous, then of course that's not going to be off or wicked, because you're desiring things that are good for you. But I mean, that's pretty much it. It's just going to get, I think, redundant at this point.
Let's deal with this Jezebel thing. Just get Revelations 2 real quick so we can understand. A lot of y'all call women Jezebels. Number one is she's an Israelite. I mean, it's going hard to make a case she's a Jezebel. All right. Why? Because Jezebel's a Hamite. Okay. She's not an Israelite. Number one. So you're calling a sister a Hamite, essentially, when you do that. And you're just being a Christian. So let's just get Revelations 2. Let's get what the spirit of Jezebel is. And if they're not doing this, then they're not Jezebel. Jezebel killed prophets. She brought in idolatry, things of that nature. You know, the average woman who you call wicked or you feel like is out of order is not doing that. So just be honest. If she is, then maybe you can make the case. But if not, stop it. Go ahead.
This is Revelation 2 and 20. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants.
To teach and to seduce. But what is she teaching and seducing the servants of God with? Read.
To commit fornication.
To commit fornication. To do unlawful sex acts. Read.
And to eat things sacrificed unto idols.
So if a woman is not trying to get us to eat things sacrificed to idols or telling us to fornicate, then guess what? She's not a Jezebel. And there's men with the spirit of Jezebel. She's just called anti. Basically, all these things are violations of the law. So this whole spirit of that's anti-law and that we don't have to keep the law, that right there is truly what the spirit of Jezebel is. Not just a woman being wicked or you don't like her, or even a hoe. Because Jezebel wasn't even a hoe. Oh, to the sister, Aliyah Shabbat, and I'm always Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat the water says for your continual support. We appreciate it very deeply. It's not what that is. Again, that whore thing. It's not even Jezebel's not even a whore. She had a husband. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of this stuff is just crazy and Christian. Let's go to Isaiah 4 now. For you sisters, I told y'all I gotta bust y'all bubble tonight. I'm glad y'all here for this. Your bubble got to get busted in the spirit. So read.
This is Isaiah 4:1. In that day, 7
read.
SEVEN.
7. Go ahead.
Women
shall what?
Shall take hold of one
man.
Uno. Ichi. What's how do you say in Creole? Man.
Achad.
Saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name.
That's right.
To take away our reproach.
To take away our reproach. So these 7 women are coming to one man and saying, we want to be your woman. Read.
And in that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious.
Read.
And the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
That's right. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy.
And what else?
Even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
When the Lord
shall what?
Shall have washed away
the what?
The filth.
The what?
The filth.
The filth, read.
Of the daughters of Zion.
See, when the filth of the daughters of Zion is washed away, that's when 7 women are going to take hold of one man. So what does that show? When you don't want to take hold of one man now, you're filthy. Your filth needs to be washed away. It's that simple. Y'all should go to the first live stream we did on this channel. Where we go deep into that whole lesson. I'm just going to give y'all that real quick. A lot of y'all is acting filthy in this chat, and a lot of y'all need to repent, and y'all need to let the white man get from around your mind.
Yeah.
Because you haven't fully let him out. You got to let that demon that is this devil out of your mind. With that, let's open up for questions. We'll take some questions. Also, y'all remember we got class tomorrow where we're going to continue going into the history, into the Torah. But we're going to start doing this Monday class, kind of going into lessons on, the Yasar lessons, going into Hebrew Israelite Reformation through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So, but right now we'll take some questions. So go ahead and shoot them questions. Y'all give y'all some time for some questions. Maybe about 10 minutes, 11 minutes for questions.
So sister asked, can a woman lust over a man if she has no one, or is that a sin?
If you do not have a husband, it's okay for you to do it. But again, it's something you have to bridle. There's limits to that because that's what you would call like a neutral lust. So there's a limit to, you can't just be all day, every day, touching yourself, thinking about this brother, man. Calm down, right? But it in and of itself is not a sin if you're single. Go ahead.
I appreciate it. This is Psalm 37, 4-5. Delight thyself also in Yahweh, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart.
That's right. So if you desire a brother, follow after the will of Yahweh, and he'll give it to you. If you're upright in heart, if it's for you, see. But go ahead.
It says, commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Showing you that's lust again. Desire, Most High. That goes right back to even Solomon when he prayed, when he did what it was supposed to do, pray for a wise, understanding heart. Most High gave him women and things of that nature.
That's right. Exactly. He did it, and he didn't even want it. He didn't ask for it.
Can we get shape ups?
What is a shape up? You can't get a lineup. Can you, if you could go to take a clippers, or you can go to a barber and have them cut your hair lower, but you can't get the edges of your hair lined up. Come on now, it's right there in the Bible. What else we got?
What does the Bible say about makeup?
Well, let's get get it right here. Get it right here. I'm gonna show you guys makeup in the Bible. One of the most righteous women in the whole Bible put makeup on. Okay.
See, there's a lot of sisters they'll love this right here. They'll love makeup, but the other stuff.
The other stuff they don't want to deal with, right?
I don't know about that.
Okay. These girls trying to make themselves 5 shades lighter. Now that's a problem. But that deals with other things. The same way, like it's the Deuteronomy 22:5 isn't talking about pants, but a girl wear a revealing pair of pants that's immodest. So it's okay to wear makeup, but there's excessive makeup. You're trying to make yourself lighter. Now you're dealing with issues of self-hatred and trying to be like your oppressor, etc. Don't do that, but you can certainly wear makeup. And we're gonna read it here. It's right here in 5, or is it in 10?
It's in 10.
You're right, it's in 10. It's like 10 and 5. I'm gonna read it here in the Good News Translation. Hold on.
23.
8. No, 23.
No, am I sure?
23. No. No. We're gonna do to 8. We're gonna stop at 8, but we're gonna start at.
I think it's early.
It's starting at like 5.
Yeah, like 3 or 4. Yeah, it's like around the top.
32.
Yeah.
Wait, start 7. Read 7 and 8 right.
This is Judith chapter 10 verse 7.
Start here. Start.
Okay, come on. When the men saw Judith after she changed clothes,
she changed her clothes and did what?
Put on makeup.
And did what?
Put on makeup.
Put on makeup. Judith got dressed, put on makeup, and the men saw her, and then what?
They were struck by her beauty.
They were struck by her beauty. Same way you see a sister, she go get dressed up, she put her makeup on, and niggas be struck at her beauty. Read.
Struck her and said to her, "May the God of our ancestors bless you and make your plans successful."
They were taken aback by how fine she was when she changed her clothes and put on makeup. So this one again, Judith got a whole book. She's one of the most righteous women in the whole Bible, and guess what? She put on makeup. So it's not wrong to wear makeup.
Can we wear a Jerry curl?
I mean, I wouldn't advise you put that level of chemical in your hair. I always tell everyone to stop putting chemicals in your hair. Stop dyeing your hair. Stop doing all these things because it's damaging to your hair. All right? Don't perm your hair. It's damaging to your hair. You even got to watch how much you straighten your hair. For sisters that straighten, there's nothing wrong with straightening their hair. I just go to get Isaiah 3 real quick. Women straighten their hair in the Bible. Same way they put on makeup, wore different hairstyles. But that's why you have something. Some people call it weave, but a lot of women are now referring to it as a protective hairstyle. Why is it protective? Because you could just braid your hair and sew on somebody else's hair or synthetic hair or whatever you want, and you can do whatever you can dye it, you can do all these various things that you shouldn't do to your own hair to it. And in doing so, you're protecting your hair, but you're wearing different hairstyles, you're switching it up. There's nothing wrong with that in the Bible. Somebody said that East Indian hair is made from, they're doing a ritual. Well, that's fine. Get Malaysian, get something else. Okay, because all that stuff is just Chinese hair that they clean up from salons and they press together and they make hair. And the Malaysian is better than the damn Indian anyway. Girls been stopped wearing Indian hair, to be honest. So go ahead.
This is Isaiah 3 and 18. And that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their caws, and their round tires like the moon.
The damn hoop earrings, go ahead.
The chains, and the bracelets, and the mufflers, the bonnets, and the ornaments of the legs.
And what else?
And the headbands, and the tablets.
The same sisters wear all this stuff now. Most High going to take this away in a time. And you say you're going to take away the bravery, meaning you're not going to want to beautify yourselves when all hell breaks loose, because you're not going to want a man to want you, because these men are going to be out here buying, selling, trading, raping women. Right? Read.
It says, and the earrings,
Uh-huh.
the rings in the nose jewels,
Uh-huh.
the changeable suits of apparel,
Read on.
and the mantles,
Uh-huh.
and the wimples,
Uh-huh.
and the crisping pins.
And the what?
Crisping pins.
They straightened their hair back in that time. Sisters wore different hairstyles. They switched it up. Right? She wear her hair natural one day, she straightened it the next day. She do braids another time. You see what I'm saying? She's switching it up, man. Right? There's nothing wrong with that biblically. Same way there's nothing wrong with makeup biblically. Showing you that through the spirit and power of Yahweh. So that's it on that. Other questions?
Let's see. Someone asked, what is Deuteronomy 22:5 really going into?
It's going into a woman not wearing a warrior's garment.
That's because the Hebrew word for man is ayash, but the word that appears there is gabar, which is a warrior. Someone said, okay, let's see. Does your wife have to be okay with having multiple wives?
No. Your wife is not the head here.
No baldness? Does that mean no razor, or can I still use the clippers to cut my hair low?
You can cut your hair low. Nothing wrong with cutting your hair low.
What's our medicine?
Oh, the Most High gave us medicines of the earth. What are you talking about medicine? Like to heal you? Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon. This is ultimately our medicine. Wisdom of Solomon 16:12. For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Yahweh, which healeth all things.
Yeah, that's the ultimate.
But let me get that one about herbs too.
Go ahead.
You know, Israelites, man. Israelites. Where's that? Where's that scripture? It says the Most High made herbs. Isn't Wisdom of Solomon? I think it's the same chapter.
Oh, no, Sirach 38.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
This is Sirach 31:8. It's like 38:1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which you made use of him, for the Lord hath created him. Verse 4, this is what I want. Salakia. It says, the Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them.
There you go. Medicines are created out of the earth. The Most High has natural remedies and cures in this earth. And if you have sense, you're not going to forsake the natural things that God has put in this earth to cure our various ailments through the Spirit. Last question.
It doesn't mean smoke weed.
Yeah, that certainly doesn't mean that. Okay, but you can use CBD oil that it doesn't get you high, doesn't have THC, but has all the medicinal values and principles of the marijuana. You can utilize that. That's what I suggest to anybody who needs it. Not to vape it or smoke it, but to apply it topically or ingest it. All right.
Do you reincarnate into the same tribe?
Yes.
You want that verse group?
Nah. Just, I mean, the verbatim in the Bible examples of reincarnation we have are Solomon Yahushai, that's indisputable. John the Baptist and Elijah, that's intertribal. You come back 3 or 4 generations in your father's lineage on the fathers. So if your father 3 or 4 if you were a Levite 3 or 4 generations ago, you had Levite kids, they had Levite kids, they had Levite kids. Now you're back. So no, you don't jump tribes, right? But that's it on that. We give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Tune in tomorrow for another live, and Shalom.